And, you know, I want to see, I want to see more of them, because I feel like you get more of them in the manga, even if a lot of times they're still lurking in the shadows, you get more of them in the manga than you do in the anime, because the anime is busy with their dream mirrors and what villain of the day we can conjure up.
And Chibiusa and the horse. But, you know, and I have no reason to doubt that they won't do this, just based on what Crystal has done so far. But going to Stars, you'll see them in Stars again too, probably.
Okay, we're not talking about Stars now. We're talking about Stars when we go for our panel at Anime Getaway for anyone in the St. Louis area. That's when we're talking about Stars.
This ties back into the quartet, though.
I know.
More of them. You'll see them at the end of Stars. That's all I'm saying.
You just can't give everything away at once. And, you know, if we go on and we still stick with the villain track, you know, we talked about when we were sitting here re-going through all the manga for, you know, picking out any details that we missed, we'd happened upon the appearance of the Amazon Trio. And the fact that instead of just Fisheye, like it was portrayed in the anime, all three members of the Amazon Trio were very androgynous in their appearance, very, you know, gender fluid in the way that they appeared and the way that they acted. And that is actually something I'd like to see in Crystal. Is I'd like them to acknowledge and to properly represent that gender fluidness instead of just the one token character.
And Fisheye was the butt of a lot of jokes because of that too.
Right.
In the classic anime.
Yeah, and I don't want to see that. I just want them to be represented as they should be. Is that I see those characters as androgynous or as gendered fluid. I don't see them as just one way or another, and I definitely don't see them as just the butt of a joke. I mean, yeah, they're more minor villains, but they deserve their due too, and they deserve to be represented in the truest way possible. So, well, you want to talk about Mamoru now?
Yeah. And you get a little bit of this in a classic anime, but not as much. To me, it's not as put out there as it was in the manga. But you start to see his deep-seated connection to the earth, and about what happens to the earth affects him.
Yeah. And you get to learn more about the power of the golden crystal, and you get more of an understanding of why he has powers that he displayed in the Black Moon arc and in the Infinity arc that he not only didn't really get in the anime, but even what power he did have, where he helped Sailor Moon create weapons and helped support her and give her energy. I just felt like it never gave as much credence. Whereas the manga, when you talk about how that connection works and how it gives credence to how powerful the golden crystal actually is. And so it gives some credit to, even though he's not a Senshi, this is why he has some powers. But that's just, you know, me and my love of the golden crystal.
Mm-hmm.
I love the silver crystal, but I love the golden crystal too.
I love my castle on Neptune.
I know you do. You totally love your castle on Neptune. Within your head, I'm sure it has an adjoining tunnel that leads to Uranus.
But you never know.
Well, considering I'm cosplaying Uranus, I'd hope I'd know.
All of a sudden, this woman just appears. How'd you get here? Would you like to know?
Okay. All right. Off topic again.
You started it.
I did start it this time. But the other piece that has to do with Mamoru is, again, you get to see, like you did in the Black Moon arc, how the Shitnu are still there, at least in spirit, watching over Mamoru. They're not just simply discarded and forgotten. They're still his counsel, even if all they can do is be spirits and advise him. They're still there. They're still part of the story. They're not set to the side, and here, let's go find whatever hot boy we can find, and this, that, and the other. So, I think that's really awesome.
And this goes for all of the arcs in classic anime. They had some really weird reasons for picking their victims.
Yes. They did have some really weird reasons for picking their victims. And some of it led to the Senshi being in danger for some really, really odd reasons. She's pretty, she's blonde. Let me see if I can steal her dream mirror or her pure heart crystal, or I want her starseed.
Hey, stealing starseeds is fun.
Yes, it is. But, now, of course, we know that this probably isn't likely, and this is something that didn't happen in any piece of canon so far, and I don't know that it would happen, but what I would actually really, really love to see is a full resurrection of the Shitnu.
Okay.
Is for them to be able to come back to the Senshi.
That'd be cute, like right after Stars. That would be really cute.
Well, I mean, even no matter when it happened, it would be wonderful to see, because it seems so unfair that the only people who get that happy ending are Usagi and Mamoru and Haruka and Michiru.
Thank you!
But they're the only ones who get it. It's not fair.
It's not. Because, I think I said this in the last podcast. I know the canon couple, I know the main couple is Mamoru and Usagi. But Haruka and Michiru, who are also canon couples, don't get near as much screen time.
Well, that's true.
Or book time.
And they would even have to share, they would probably get even less screen time as a couple, if the Shitnu were returned. But I feel like that would be a happy ending. I feel like the Inner Senshi deserve that happy ending. And whether it happened in the dream arc or when, I know this was one of the fan theories, the fan canons that I was really passionate about, but it's just a happy ending I'd like to see. And it's just me.
No, it's not just you. There's a lot of people who ship them. I ship them too, but I'm not as big as Haruka Michiru. But
you don't ship anyone as big as Haruka Michiru. You don't even ship Sailor Moon and Tuxedo Mask as big as you do Haruka Michiru.
Because he is a jerk in classic anime.
But in the manga and Crystal, he is not a jerk.
They are so cute together.
They are. But you totally don't ship them. Not the way that you do Haruka and Michiru.
To me, there's a different kind of devotion between Haruka and Michiru, but that's another topic for another podcast.
Right. But if we're talking,
I'm trying to be good tonight.
I can tell you're trying really, really hard.
It's hard.
I know it is. But, speaking of another thing that we would like to see as far as forms and things like that, I know another one that we looked at was seeing another glimpse at another encounter with the guardian cat's human forms, and this time being able by the end of the arc to be able to see all three of them get their human forms for a time. To see Artemis's human form, which I think is absolutely handsome. And Diana, she just looks so cute. You just want to pinch her.
Diana always looks so cute. I mean, in Crystal, she steals the scene in every scene she's in.
She does, because she is adorable and she is cute. And you want, in the cat form, you just want to scratch her on top of the head and just, love her and give her lots of kitty treats. And in her human form, you just want to go and hug her and, pinch her cheeks.
Well, it's like when I'm watching it, especially when I'm watching it for the first time, and my family member who's in the next room to me will hear me, because all of a sudden I'll be like, oh, she is so cute, I want to hug her. Totally not a cat person.
You are totally a cat person.
I have a cat on my lap.
Exactly.
But,
Totally a cat person. But, yeah, I would really like to see that. The only one we ever got to see in the classic anime was Luna. And that was, I believe, the only time we saw it was in the S movie.
S movie.
So, I would really like to see that.
I felt so bad for Artemis in that movie. I'm just saying, I felt so bad for him.
Time out. Another topic, another night. Don't go too far into that. Because I would like to talk about the movies one night. And just talk about just the movies one night. But for tonight, sticking to the dream arc, I would like to see that. And I liked, when you look at how Artemis's human form is shown, he's able to come to Venus's aid like a guardian should. That's how his human form comes out.
So are you calling Luna a slacker?
No, I am not. I love Luna. I think Luna is an excellent guardian cat. Considering that's something you didn't even get to see at all in the anime, that kind of stood out to me when we were going back through and re-researching through the manga to make sure that we didn't miss anything. That caught my attention. That stood out to me. And it may not have anything to do with the fact that I give that cat cheese poofs every day in our role play. But anyway, no, it really did stand out to me as a really noble sentiment. And felt like they really let the Senshi's Guardians step it up in this arc. To be able to do more than just provide information. Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. Well, you were really quiet, and you aren't normally quiet.
I'm always quiet.
I call shenanigans. I call shenanigans. So, is there anything else that you think we've missed as far as the dream arc goes?
Yes.
Oh, yes, we did. There's one thing we have not touched on.
I'm going for it, don't you?
I hope I know what you're going for.
Let me go ahead.
Sure.
They actually talk about how they are actually princesses of the planets.
Yes. I forgot. Yeah, that was one of two pieces.
That wasn't what you were talking about.
No, I thought you were talking about the other piece that I realized we missed. But let's start with the princesses. As you get to see that in the manga, you get to see them in their, beautiful princess gowns. And it's not just in artwork, it's in part of the story.
And it's kind of sad, especially for the outers who are by themselves and stuff. They're thinking about them in the pretty princess dresses that no one gets to see them in because they're all alone. But I have I have a totally whole headcanon about this. So I'm not going to talk about this. I'll talk about this to her later. But I mean, really, it's really kind of sad.
It is.
And poor Pluto.
Yeah.
But yeah. But to me, it kind of gives them more of they were born into this.
Yes.
This is what they were meant to do. This is what, they weren't just reborn on Earth because they were this in the past. They were just totally born into it.
Right. And it reminds you of that sense that they're not just soldiers that are